a heart, God should create someone in the shape of a heart, Justice Eno should be created in the shape of a heart because she lives for others.
Justice Eno Isangedighi is a mother of mothers.
She never ever lies to us. She is spectacular.
60 is almost like scam, around her. She doesn't look any bit.
When I see my 88-year-old father today, feeble and having to hold me to move around, I wonder whether this is the same man that would beat us when we were small, to make sure that we studied and we didn't tell lies.
When she goes to work, and I'm here, I go, sometimes I say, ah. So anytime I hear she's back, I cheer up.
On Monday, December 3, 1962, a head teacher from Ukopan in Ewang, Mbo local government area, and his school teacher wife were blessed with the gift of their first child, a baby girl. They called their bundle of joy Eno.
During the Civil War, I remember how my mother would tie me at her back and someone else would carry my little brother. My mother was pregnant also, and we would run into the bush. I remember that my grandmother always refused to leave the house and said she would rather die inside the house. I recall also that one day everybody was rejoicing and running around saying that the war was over. We were very small.
Little Eno was to have a beautiful childhood in the different stations that her parents served in different communities and divisions.
Our early years were mainly in different stations where our school teacher parents served. And wherever we lived in the school compound would have passed as the GRA of those days. We had a beautiful childhood. I do not remember ever being hungry as a child. There was always food to eat. And there were many people living with us because a lot of people believed that as teachers, my parents were strict disciplinarians and they sent their children who were naughty or who refused to go to school to live with us. So we grew up amongst many people. That's when we learned to love other people. But one thing I regret is that there were things I should have learned as a child which I could not. Example, farming. There were so many school children who worked in the farms, and each time we went close to the farm, they would drive us away and say, teacher's child, you cannot work in the farm. And now that I grew up loving gardening, I am learning the rudiments of farming at old age. And I had a very beautiful time with my siblings. Initially, my only brother, who is 11 months younger than I, there was always sibling rivalry. We fought very often over toys, over anything you can think of, and who should do what chore and who should do the other one. And then there were two younger siblings, my sister Imabasi, who has gone to be with the Lord, and my kid sister Idong. In those days, they would even also fight with me. But as I grew up and the gap was getting bigger, they now began to arrange, and they would call me sister. They said, my mother said, your sister is your senior, call her sister. They call me sister. But if they did something and I beat them, they would call me Eno. Eno, you are not sister anything, you are Eno. And then they would run away.
Growing up with her was fun. I'm the last child. And as the last child, there certainly was a little gap between us. When I wanted to make trouble with her, I would throw stones at her, she would smile, and make sure trouble doesn't happen. She's been like a second mom to me. And when her mom passed on 24 years ago, very gladly she took over the mantle of motherhood. And I love the way she loves us. I love the way she mothers all of us. I would say she's a near perfect human being.
Eno was a lively child who always engaged others in conversations, a trait her father immediately identified as associated with lawyers, and she started early to fantasize about the law profession.
I always chattered as a child, and any person who came to visit my parents had a tough time because he or she had to answer a lot of questions. So they felt that many times my parents would say, "Shut up! Stop talking! You talk too much. You are disturbing the visitors." So, and the people will say, "Leave her alone, let her express herself." Then my father will say, "Are you a lawyer? You talk too much. Are you a lawyer? Are you a lawyer?" So very early in life, when people asked me what I wanted to be, I said, "I want to be a lawyer." As early as age 4, 5, I was saying that I want to be a lawyer, although I did not know who a lawyer was. But it was by the time I grew up to my primary school, secondary school, it was already ingrained in my subconscious that I was going to be a lawyer.
And my daughter is a destined girl by God. So I had no problem bringing her up at all.
After a brief stay at the Department of Secretarial Studies in the then College of Technology, Calabar, and the completion of her A-levels at the then School of Art and Science, Uyo, Eno gained admission into the Faculty of Law of the University of Calabar, where she graduated with a degree in law.
I finished from Merihani. At that time, other than writing JAM, you had to write entrances into different institutions. So I got admitted into a place called School of Arts and Science. I got admitted into College of Technology, Calabar, and College of Education. I knew I wanted to be a lawyer right from when I was a child. My friends said to me, "Eno, look at something here, secretarial studies. This is arts, something arts, not science." I said, "Really? Okay, I'll take it." And I failed it not knowing what it was. So I arrived at College of Technology, Calabar, paid school fees, settled into hostel. First day in the class, I went to the department and I was taken to a long hall full of typewriters. I did not connect it to the reason why I was in school. The moment we left classes that day, I went to my father and said, "I'm leaving the school. This was my experience. Why am I being asked to learn typing when I want to be a lawyer? I want to go to School of Arts and Science. I want to go to a school that will lead me to becoming a lawyer." Those days were good days. I went back to College of Technology and told the institution that I was leaving. I wanted to go to another school. I was not happy with the course I was offered. They calculated my stay of about 5 days in the institution, took out that one and gave me back the school fees. And I took the school fees, entered public transport to School of Arts and Science Uyo and registered, did my 2 years A-level. That was how I ended up in University of Calabar through A-level. University was nice. First year, of course, with my brother, whom you know, we started school together. Both of us ended up in the same class reading law together.
I had to bring up 2 of them at the same time in law school. The first man to handle 2 law students.
While at the University of Calabar, Eno met Henry, a core member, and 3 months later, they were married.
First year was fine, but by second year, I got into marriage, early marriage. I was going to school as a young married person, and I finished up in Unical. A greater part of that time was spent off campus. It is only the first year that I said I was really a bona fide student staying on campus. After that, I moved out to stay with my husband.
Over the period, found my wife to be an angel, I will call her. Very loving, very caring, good mother, and I would say the greatest caregiver. My wife, I would say, is a good woman. In Obon, as in our local parlor, we say that Kenyan was up. Eno is a gift. She is a gift from God to me.
With marriage came the desired fruits. First to arrive was a baby girl, Adidi, then Uwe, Precious and Henry Jr. The arrival of children did not hinder Eno Isangedighi's ambition. She completed her law degree, went on to the Nigerian Law School before her employment, which was initially in the private sector.
Going through the training in law and seeing how, in quote, dreadful it was and really, really tedious, I made up my mind that I was not going to be a practicing lawyer. I didn't like the courtroom. I did not like the courtroom. Most young lawyers are terrified about the courtroom, and if they had a choice, they wouldn't go there. So I chose not to practice. I would rather do corporate practice. I wanted to work in the bank or in any of the companies around. So I started to look for employment opportunities in those places. I found one as company secretary and legal advisor to Cross River Estates Limited. It was a plantation, a large plantation.
However, with the creation of the Akwa Ibom State, Eno Isangedighi and her family moved to Uyo, and she became an employee of the Ministry of Justice.
Began to learn the rudiments of practice. I could no longer run away from the courtroom. I began my work in the Ministry of Justice in the Directorate of Civil Litigation. After some years, after I rose to become a deputy director there, I was posted to work in the Directorate of Public Prosecutions. So I was prosecuting, and I got familiar with that. Then, after I obtained my master's degree from the University of London, upon coming back, I was made to start the Center for Alternative Dispute Resolution.
Despite her resolve not to work in the courtroom, her voyage in the Ministry of Justice prepared her for the versatility needed in the bench, and in 2008, she was sworn in as a High Court judge alongside 3 others.
I was working at the ADR department when I was appointed a judge. So it's as if I came on board the judiciary quite prepared for the work that I'm doing. I was appointed 15 years ago, precisely on the 28th day of March 2008. I have served in Uyo Judicial Division, then Ikorebele. I was posted to Eket, where I stayed for about 5 years. I had a brief stint at Eten, and I'm presently the administrative judge of Abak Judicial Division. I see my work as a judge as a calling. Administering justice to the world is like standing in the stead of God. That is what God would have us do. He cannot come and do it personally. So people like us are appointed.
Justice Eno Isangedighi's rise in the judicial service and the daily demands of solitude has led to new discoveries centered around family bonds and traditions.
It has not been possible for me to have many friends socialize because of the work that I do. The work draws you away from the society and does not allow you to mix with people so that you are not easily accessible to them. over the last 15 years on the job, I have accepted it and I am used to it, which is the reason why more than ever before, my happiness has to be generated within the family, and I have successfully done that over the years.
She was the first friend I knew. I am 4 years older than my immediate junior brother, and the rest are boys. So, all my life, I learned to play on my own. I learned to love my space, love books. That's how I started reading very early. I learned to read from her. Everything that is beautiful about me, I think I got from her. So, I learned to sing pretty early. She's a great singer. I am love. My mom is a love being. She doesn't need to know you to love you. And I think it's the same thing. People don't need to know how to love her. Once you come into her space, she reeks of love. So she taught me pretty early to love, be enough, be abundant. I watched her love and nurse my father almost all my life with a certain level of grace. I'm not sure I turned out badly. She raised me intentionally. She taught me to relate and relate well. She taught me that friendship is possible.
One of the predominant memories I have of my childhood is my mom doing everything in her power to make sure that we're exposed to the good things of life. And I remember her as a 14-year-old, she told me, I'm sending you on this trip not because I have the money, but I need you to understand how it feels to go on trips like this. And you would also know that if you are successful in life, life is sweet. And that was part of the drive to get us to where we are now. And my mom's a phenomenal person. And one thing I have my mother for is advice. No matter what it is, we are certain that once you take it to mom, she is sure to give you advice. If she does not know if she does not know what to do, she knows somebody that knows what to do, and she'll always point us in the right direction. Happy birthday, mom. We love you, and you mean everything to us.
Hi, mom. I just want to say on your special day that your contribution to my fine upbringing is tremendous. You are an inspiration to my siblings and I, and it's a privilege to call you, to be your son, and to call you mother. Your wisdom and energy at 60 is amazing. I mean, I could go on and on to talk about how you're an inspiration and you're an incredible person.
As a mother, I think anybody would love her. As a role model, anyone would love her. So growing up, she made life easy. For 60 years, she's made life easy for me and my siblings. She has a mother's love. She's compassionate. I think she's selfless. That's another way to put it. She doesn't think about herself most of the time. She just thinks about helping people. And that's something that's come with the role, her position in her family. Yes, as the first daughter, as the first child. It's just, she's carried that sense of responsibility from my grandmother. And she's passed it all the way down to myself, who's the last. So, yes. So I would tell people that my mother is heaven sent.
She has been like the only person I've seen who has actually taken care of me. She thinks about other people first before she now thinks of herself. And she appreciates everything. I love it that when she always keeps her word, she never ever lies to us. She is spectacular. I don't know how to say it because my grandmother, she is the best grandmother I have ever seen.
Interestingly, soft-spoken and calm, Eno is not just mother to her 4 biological children alone, but has enlarged her bosom to accommodate a large followership of foster children and friends to her children.
You don't describe Justice Eno Isangedighi. She's a phenomenon. Eno Isangedighi, Justice, my mom, I call her mom, is a woman of many parts, a woman that is all heart. In fact, I think if a heart, God should create someone in the shape of a heart, Justice Eno should be created in the shape of a heart because she lives for others. She lives for the comfort. She lives for the good of others. She gets into you as her projects. You don't even have the time to think for yourself. She wants to do everything for you. She wants you to just be okay.
I call her my mother, and she's a mother indeed, not just to me, but to so many people. Yeah, I met Justice Eno Isangedighi about 11 years ago, 2011 precisely. A woman of integrity, a virtuous, that biblical virtuous woman she is. She knows how to advise, she knows how to guide, she knows how to organize, she knows how to relate with people.
This is not a lifestyle that is pretentious. She's natural and she's kind-hearted, she's loving, she's respectful, and ultimately she's a lover of God. And so she ensures that at all times, she makes sure that she cordons us into the pathway that will lead to a life that is more better and frank.
Her 38-year-old marriage to architect Henry Isangedighi of Mbukpo Eyokan of Ruefon-Ruku local government area remains a model to other couples, together with her staunch and unflinching belief and faith in God.
We are happy that God has kept us together for 38 years now. Honestly, I am surprised that we've been together for 38 years because it feels like only yesterday. I can remember Calabar when it all started.
I met her on one occasion. I visited Calabar during my NYC. The magnet, between both of us, got together. And over the period, found my wife to be an angel. I wake up in the morning, I see her, I smile. It's a source of joy to me. Yes. When she goes to work, and I'm here at home, sometimes I say, ah. So anytime I hear she's back, I cheer up.
Just as diamonds are associated with strength and love, Justice Eno Isangedighi stands out with a plethora of virtues credited to her by her family and associates.
In the family, I have discovered that many times she denies herself comforts just to make sure that we, the family members, are comfortable. The things I desired and expected of my mother-in-law, in whom I saw love, I have not lost it in Eno Isangedighi. She has loved me, she has loved my family, she has done so much. She has been a leader that is able to galvanize the family.
Eno is a very wonderful person. She's very nice. She goes out of her way to be close to people. And she's more of a sister to me than a colleague. Several times she has stood by me, particularly during my trying times. Even in my happy times, she's always there for me and very supportive. She's one of those that I really count on the bench as being mine.
Very dependable. I think she's someone you should have, if you have in your corner. You'll know that you have a support. She's very caring, devoted. That's what I love about her. And if she ever takes on a course, relax, know that she's going to give it her best shot.
She is a jolly good fellow, for God's sake. She is ready to suffer privation for the sake of others. From the day I met her till now, she has been in my best description and epitome of a real woman.
Justice Eno Isangedighi is a mother of mothers. She's a caring woman. Since when I came to this family, she has been showing me love, not only me, my extended family, in the world. She is a mother.
It's awesome. She has taught me so much. She has taught me patience in a lot of things. Where I may want to put fire in a place, it's likely to be the one that will tell me, Gloma, don't do it that way. And I wish her another 60 years.
She's a woman who loves her husband. She's a woman who loves her children. She's a woman who loves her children's friends. She's a woman who loves everybody. She loves everybody. And so we are just lucky that we are in our corner. We are lucky that she is in our corner. We are lucky that she is here.
Justice Eno Isangedighi is a friend. She's a sister. She's a lover. She's a woman with a large heart, a caring woman. There's no way you come in contact with Justice Eno Isangedighi that your life will not be changed. In this Isangedighi's dynasty, I'm a daughter. She's a wife brought in, but you won't know the difference. Who is a wife and who is a daughter?
Her deep-seated and selfless love for others is worthy of emulation and has elicited words of goodwill as she celebrates 60 years of God's mercies and blessings.
Wish her happy birthday and many more returns, and that she will conclude her life in good health, to be more wealthy and be more merrier. God should endeavor her children not to disappoint her. They are exposed to the world where we're living now, where context of moral consciousness, let them not forget the training of home. And for all of us whom she has adopted, directly or indirectly as her children, we also wish to ensure that we don't give her no heartbreak by not reflecting the teachings she has handed over to us. And we promise that we'll also hand it over to the generation next. I think this is how to write her name on the marble. Happy birthday, Mom.
Strangely, she doesn't look the age. She doesn't work out well. She's a celebrated lady. Very cerebral. I wish her the very best of life. And I know God in His infinite mercies will add a lot more, millionfold to my wishes and prayers for her.
I welcome her to the Diamond League. I am above 60 as well. I wish her the best. I wish her long life. I wish her good health. I wish her wisdom from the heavens. And I wish her the best in life.
My compassionate woman, my lovable woman, my caring woman, my partner. We plan things together for good of the family. Happy birthday to you. I love you. My family loves you. The children loves you. And I know this 60th birthday of yours that has brought you into the senior citizens level. Welcome. But you have to give me one bottle of wine to initiate into it. Happy birthday, Nana baby. Happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday, my own sister. God bless you.
And because she has chosen to thank God at this time, wish God Almighty to add more gracious, plenteous in terms of grace to her. And as she grows up, let God continue to add value to her life.
I'm glad that she's 60. She has greatly accomplished a lot at 60. She's a beautiful mother, beautiful grandmother, a good wife, a compassionate wife. It has pleased God to keep her up to 60. And we are grateful to God for a honored life. I wish her love. I wish her God's blessings. I wish her good health. I wish her peace. And above all, I wish her joy.
I wish her, as she turned 60 years, the best. And I pray that God should continue to protect her, to protect her family and her husband. She's a major asset to the family. Very a major asset. So I pray the Almighty God to reward her.
Turning 60, I looked at her and I said, 60 sure looks good on you. I think 60 is a new 40. She carries it very well. And I give God thanks for her, for all He's done in her life, for her family. And He's been there with her also. I know that the next 60 years is going to be full of God's blessings, all round increase. Many more beautiful years ahead for her. It's a prayer for her.
If I'm God, I have the powers of God, I will not allow her to die. But it is given that someone will be born and one day someone will be found to be creator. But I will selfishly say that if I have the power, nothing untoward, nothing calamitous, no evil should befall. I wish I would change because start to stay alive, live more to enjoy the works of our hands.
And I join millions and thousands of people amongst your friends, hundreds of them, saying happy birthday, happy Diamond Jubilee, Justice. Happy Diamond Jubilee for a woman I call a woman of candor, a woman that I just call, wow, this one is an accomplished personality.
My Lord, I wish you the very best. Happy birthday. 60 years of wishing her the very best. 60 years of promising her that we will be together again in the next 60 years.
My wishes and prayers for her always is that God will bless her. God will sustain her and keep her. She will grow old gracefully and reap the fruit of her labor.
60 is almost like scam, around her. She doesn't look any bit. I wish her the best. I wish her all of glory, all of dominion, all of God's goodness and benevolence in the coming years. Your international love baby loves you so much.
Birthday songs and prayers are also offered by her only daughter's children.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. May the good Lord bless you. May the good Lord bless you. May hip, hip, hooray! Happy birthday, Grandma. Father, I commit my grandmother into your hands. Please don't let her leave us alone. Father, I cover my grandmother with the blood of Jesus. I cover my grandmother with eternal memories. From you, Father, I just pray that you keep my grandmother alive, because she's one of the people who have made sense into my life. So please, Father, don't let anything happen to her. Don't let any sickness touch her. In the mighty name of Jesus.
As Justice Eno Isangedighi embraces her diamond years and looks forward to retirement in 5 years and a future of service to family and humanity, it is certain that she will remain, as her name Eno implies, a gift, not just to family but everyone who comes in contact with her.
I am planning to volunteer my time in the law faculty because I am very it is sometimes very disheartening to see the standard of the lawyers that appear in court, especially the new wigs, those recently, maybe the last couple of years, or even some who are older than that. Their performance in the court, their ethics, their behavior leaves much to be desired. And I have a passion to volunteer time in the university, that is in the Faculty of Law, to help in the formation process, and that for no pay at all. And it's just something I want to do, to put in part of my time. I will also like to continue to show more interest in matters concerning vulnerable people of the society, the women, the children, the handicapped, and other people who have been stigmatized, or especially the aged. In the tradition or the system, the belief system looks down on the aged, and I really, really pity them. Many of them are innocent, but they are just neglected by both the society and their children who are not able to care for them. Those are the areas I want to concentrate on. I would like to be closer to my God also. Many times I try to do the morning masses, but sometimes I'm unable to because of the volume of work I have to do before I go to work. My typical day begins at 4 a.m. My best time to work is between 4 a.m. and 7. I'm strongest in the mornings. I'm more alert in the morning. I do that before I get to court and sit. When I come back, I rest, wake up, have my bath, and then work again before I go to bed at about 10 or 11.